Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Zoom. We're so excited to be here today. We have a special guest that we'll be bringing on here very shortly. But we're excited to talk about a little bit more about the science behind our NCT products line, our patented technologies that we have exclusive here at Northestar. So if you guys are catching this live, I want you to put live in the comments below. If you have someone who's interested in finding out more information about our awesome technology, please tag them in the comments below so that they can catch the replay or the live for this broadcast. So you guys, I'm really excited to be here today. We have a special guest with us today, Franco Cavaleri, and we're excited to have him here. He is really the one who knows everything about this great technology backwards and forwards, and it's developed there in his lab. So we're super excited to be able to have him be able to join us today. Now, if everyone just give me one quick minute, we're going to go ahead and bring Franco on here. All right, Franco, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
There we go.
There you go. Awesome. Franco, thank you so much for being here today. We are super excited to just be able to have you speak a little bit more on the NCT powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'll be the one to kind of walk you through your presentation. As you talk, I'll be moving it around here. So if you guys will just give me 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and share my screen so that you guys can see Franco's presentation, and we can go ahead and get started on that. So hold on just one moment here. All right. All right. Wonderful.
Oh, perfect.
All right, here. Okay, Franco, you are up. So again, this is Franco Cavaleri. We're so excited to have him on, and I'll go ahead and hop off, Franco, and let you take charge.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, so anyways, pleasure. I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here and pleasure to be working with such amazing people. Love to have had the opportunity to meet you all at that event. Wish there were more that I could get to meet, that I get to see on Facebook, but you guys that were all there was amazing. The thermobutyrate revolution, I got to tell you, this technology is, in fact, one of the most impactful technologies that have come out of our laboratory. I mean, what we do here at Biologic is pure drug targeting research. It's the same research that's done in the allopathic pharmaceutical field. And what we do is dive into various natural compounds in a different way than researchers are used to. We'll isolate each of the constituents that are in a polyphytochemical product. So what that means is, all our botanicals in the natural space, they consist of multiple constituents, multiple elements that make up this whole plant. And one of the difficulties that this has presented in the pharmaceutical or allopathic medical fields is that there are too many compounds that may not give us a selective target, a selective way to actually target drug targets in the cells to change cell behavior. I'm not going to go into these details in this talk because what we want to really know and understand is how and why we're getting the results that we're seeing in the field and why this is so unique. This is not your typical technology. And what we do here at Biologic is not typical formulation. This is actually monitoring the actual drug targeted behavior of various constituents. And then what we'll do is once we know how each constituent is affecting the genome and the proteome, then we'll engineer the compound to be highly specific for those targets. And that's very different than saying, hey, let's extract this and we'll add this and we'll add this. And it's supposed to do this, I think. Isn't that what the research says? No. What we say is, yes, we're going to manipulate how the extract is composed so that it's highly specific based on knowledge, based on current knowledge, based on current research that we're doing in the lab downstairs. And then the outcome is something delivers reliable, repeatable results that you're all feeling. And that's what thermobutyrate is. Thermobutyrate is designed specifically to affect how your cells respond to your environment. We already know, and we've designed the technology so that it's affecting uncoupling protein. It's affecting hormone-sensitive lipase. And what does that mean in the context of how you're feeling and what you're going to experience in terms of results? It means that, and you'll know exactly what this means as I describe the activity. We are activating an enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase that's built within the fat tissue, the white adipose fat tissue of your body. That's where you store fat. And what we're doing is we're telling that tissue, those cells, to break down the triglycerides, the fatty acid, release the fatty acids into the bloodstream. And now what happens is you have an energy substrate that helps reduce the appetite because there's energy in your bloodstream that came from you, came from your fat. And then what happens is you have an option. You can work off that energy because fat calories, 9 calories per gram, has to be worked off somehow. And some people like to work it off with calorie expenditure through exercise. But what we're doing is we're also at the same time, we're activating uncoupling protein. And this is a specific enzyme and system that shifts how your body uses those fat calories. It doesn't wait for you to burn them off through exercise. It actually activates what's called the brown adipose tissue, which is a different type of fat. While your white adipose tissue stores fat, the brown fat tissue burns fat and disseminates it into thin air as heat. It's called thermogenesis. And this activity tends to decline as we age. And what we've done here at Biologic, we've targeted how, why, what are the mechanisms that cause it to decline with age? And then how can we reactivate that so that the body begins to metabolize fats like it did for you when you were younger? And so what we're doing here is, again, activating a complete system that revolves around lipid management and metabolism, fat management and metabolism, getting your body to actually make energy, heat energy, out of fat, and getting your body to work with you towards getting rid of unnecessary body fat that can accumulate over time and increase the risk for type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease. And as this fat accumulates and we have less control over our metabolism, we increase the risk for a lot of different diseases that we're starting to see are becoming pretty much epidemics in North America. And so the cool thing is that everything we do here and everything thermobutyrate is designed to do is literally a biohacking mechanism. There's nothing more real and scientific about biohacking compared to what we're doing here at Biologic and how thermobutyrate was designed. So we're literally flicking the switches that tell your body to shift from using glucose as a primary energy source, but use fat as a primary energy source. Now, the cool thing is you guys have heard a lot about ketogenesis, fasting, and what that does to the body to push the body to make ketones from your own fat as a primary energy source for the brain. Now, let's think about this. The peripheral tissues of the body can use fat to make energy all the time. Your brain can't. The fat molecule has difficulty crossing the blood-brain barrier. So the brain cannot receive these fat molecules in abundance in order to use them as a source of energy. So when you, for example, deprive your calories or you engage in a ketogenic diet, which is low in carbs, high in fat, a lot of people have difficulty over the first 2 to 3 days because the brain is not getting enough glucose. And the brain is telling you, I need food, you need carbs. Peripheral body, tissues of the periphery in your body can use fat, but the brain can't. And so what your body does is it begins to make ketones from your own fat. It activates a system called beta oxidation. And you can see that if we're able to activate that system, we're able to increase ketone levels in the bloodstream from your own fat, for the brain to use so that you don't have that hunger and you're able to control your diet, whether you're in fasting mode, whether you're just simply dropping your carbs. And so 3 things that we're doing with the thermobutyrate system that's designed to hack into your lipid metabolism, genomic structure, the genomes that are responsible for lipid metabolism and general metabolism of glucose. 3 things that are key. 1, we're activating hormone-sensitive lipase to move fat into the bloodstream. 2, we're activating uncoupling protein and brown fat to start burning that fat for you, whether you're at rest, whether you're at exercise, whether you're sleeping, and turning it into heat. And 3, we're turning on a beta oxidative system that activates a program in your liver to take fat from your body and make ketones for the brain. This is one of the reasons why when you take thermobutyrate, you feel, wow, the room feels brighter. I feel motivated. You're empowering the brain with substrates to make ATP that allow the brain to make more ATP than it normally can with glucose. And it's using that ketone to do so. Now, here's a bit of a challenge because people have asked me this question all the time. Well, if I take exogenous ketones as a supplement, doesn't that do the same thing then? And no, it does not. Because as soon as you take that exogenous ketone as a supplement, you increase serum ketone levels, which causes the body to stop making ketones. So it inhibits ketogenesis that you may be trying to activate. It stops, and we show this in our research. We publish the research in peer-reviewed journals. Stops beta oxidation and fatty acid oxidation, which means when serum levels of ketones go up too high, you actually stop the body's capacity to use your own fat as a primary energy source. And now there's a place for ketone supplementation. It's amazing for people who have dementia, cognitive deficits, and that's what those high doses are designed to do. It's a treatment for those things. But if you're going to use it for weight loss, it's not going to work for most people because the ketone itself serves as a caloric factor. It's like a macronutrient that has over 5 calories per gram that you got to burn through before you start burning your own fat. Thermobutyrate's different. Thermobutyrate is activating an entire lipid system to break down fat, cause your body to burn it off as heat, independent of exercise and additive to any exercise you're going to impose to be able to burn more calories. So you're burning calories all day, and then you're activating beta oxidation to improve ketone generation for your brain. And all around an amazing product to deliver cognitive and nootropic benefits, to switch the body into fat burning mode. But we've gone one step further. And in fact, our research downstairs is actually diving into GLP-1. And this has become an amazing area of study for us. GLP-1. GLP-1 is a protein that we've heard a little bit about in the context of various drugs. Ozempic has been offering weight loss products in the form of an injectable GLP-1 analog. What does that mean, GLP-1 analog? Well, the GLP-1 that's sold as a pharmaceutical is not really the same peptide that your body manufactures. It's the GLP-1 peptide your body manufactures with a few amino acids that have been switched out. How that's going to affect the body in the future, nobody knows. It's benefiting a lot of people today. However, one thing we're noticing is that there is a significant loss in lean body mass with the use of these analogs. What we are doing with our technology, we are getting your body to make GLP-1. We are pumping up your cells to make your own natural endogenous GLP-1. So what does that do? That further improves appetite control, blood sugar management, all these things that we've seen marketed about some of the pharmaceutical analogs to GLP-1. So the cool thing about our thermobutyrate technology is that, we are burning fat as a primary energy source. We are sparing muscle, not allowing it to actually dissipate. Muscle's metabolically active. You need to maintain it especially as you get older, because as you lose it, it becomes more difficult for you to burn off calories and create general health for the body. The lean body mass is more than just tissue for locomotion. It actually serves in the body to regulate a lot of different systems and supply nutrients to systems in need during immunosuppression and immunocompromised situations. Nevertheless, with our thermobutyrate technology that flicks these switches to turn your body into a fat-burning machine, we've added now the GLP-1 mechanism, and that is in the form of Glyvia that sweetens our powders. So you've seen an unbelievable synergistic application with thermobutyrate and GLP-1, but there's more, because I'll show you downstairs later on what our bustling group is doing if we catch them before lunch. We are also studying how thermobutyrate and GLP-1 affect sirtuin proteins. Now, sirtuin proteins, if you look them up, SIRT, sirtuin proteins, these are a general group of proteins that are in the mitochondria, cytosol, nucleus, and they're involved in adaptation and recovery and restoration of metabolic activity, including insulin function and things like that. And so when we activate these sirtuins, we're actually forcing the cell to cope with its environment. In fact, it's known that these sirtuin proteins are activated during fasting. It's one of the reasons why fasting works to help induce autophagy and help clear the body of debris and improve the body's capacity to recover in cases of disease and injury. Cold plunge. We've heard so much about cold plunge. Cold plunge too activates various sirtuin proteins that dive deep into the genes that are involved in metabolic correction to correct the body's ability to restore and recover from metabolic wear and tear, as well as physical wear and tear from physical activity. So you can see that what we're doing here is not a speculation of, hey, let's throw this stuff together and see what it does. This is science-driven, precise pharmacology that delivers a result that is effective, delivers a result we know is going to be delivered, and delivers a result based on science that we are now preparing to publish. That's what we do here at Biologic. We'll run the research, then we publish our work in peer-reviewed journals. Why? The reason is it allows a group of independent researchers outside the scope of Biologic to review the research and deem whether it's valid or not to be published in that paper. It allows us then to get this feedback from these other professionals who do not have insight in what we're doing and don't have any form of subconscious bias to review what we do. And then if we don't get approval for publication, we look at it and say, okay, why? What did we do? How do we actually modify this to improve the awareness and acknowledgement by our peers, peer reviewed? And then once they say, hey, you know what? We love what you did. We agree with the data. Everything's good. We're going to publish. And we get published. That tells you that our research is real and it's peer reviewed by independent people. And what that means is that how we're flicking these genetic switches to improve lipid metabolism, getting your metabolism to work with you towards your goals instead of against you. Imagine running up that hill all day long to try and get fit. That's just degrading of your own morale. You need to get your metabolism from the inside out, working with you to burn calories. And that's what we do. You need to get your metabolism, your built-in genetic corrective programs to correct insulin resistance, to improve your capacity cognitively so that you have the will, the drive, and the metabolic core impetus to work with you towards your goals. I'm going to take you right now, if you guys don't mind, while we collect some questions, and I'm going to show you downstairs what we do in the context of this research, because it's pure drug research. Let me see if I can turn this around so I don't end up falling down the stairs. Okay. Let's see here. There we go.
Perfect. As Franco was walking down the stairs, man, I just wanted to tell you guys something that I found was so amazing and interesting. Is just that I love the part where he talks about how, our technology or Franco's technology, the thermobutyrate, is actually passed off to a third party. So it honestly isn't just, hey, let's take Franco's word for it or anything like that. It's actually, yeah, it's a bunch of people it's a bunch of different processes that
Is
have
there a
gone
new
through.
addition?
I'm going to let Franco go ahead. Go ahead, Franco, and tell us a little bit about what's going on down there.
Well, what we're doing down here, we just picked up a new piece of equipment that allows us to dive a little bit deeper with our research. But you can see Ashley working away here, running some data on some of the work that we've done. And this goes on all day, where we're testing on tissues and cells how our technology is affecting these tissues and cells. And I'm going to take you back here because this is where we do our cell culture, and we'll culture cancer tissue, liver, pancreas, and tissue. And I guess, Dimitri's in here. Hey, Dimitri, how you doing? And see, we're doing some cell culture. And this is a full drug lab where we even have my son's favorite corner, nitrogen corner, where we store our cell types. You back upstairs, Elon. I just wanted to take the opportunity. I wanted to take the opportunity to give you a little bit of an understanding of the depth of what we do, because it is pure modify these technologies in a way that's functional, based on knowledge, not based on speculation.
I love that. I think that's so amazing, Franco. I really appreciate you taking time to kind of share with us what's going on in the lab and all of that. I think it's really great to be able to, oops, sorry, I think I was getting a phone call in. Okay, so right. Yeah, I think it is really great to be able to see, how everything works in the lab and know that it's not just tested by you guys, but it's also tested by a third-party company as well. So we don't have a ton of time, Franco, and I kind of just want to go through and ask you one additional question here, because we all know that it's really great to be able to, lose weight, feel great, have super great gut health, all those types of things. But one thing that I would love if you would just touch on a little bit, again, I don't want you to make like a medical claim or anything like that, because we're not doctors of medicine technically here. But what I would like you to talk about a little bit is the correlation with the brain and dementia, and how the thermobutyrate, really help with brain, with brain health.
Yeah, there's multiple ways that it's affecting brain health. And in fact, we are now just running into some formal research. We're designing the experiments to test the effects of thermobutyrate in comparison to cognitive supplements and drugs that are used to support, dementias, support people through difficult times with cognitive deficits. Paracetam is one of those drugs that's common. We're trying to determine how this natural substance that we produce and have engineered affects the targets in our neurons the same way as paracetam. One big way we know already that we've seen is it's activating beta oxidation. And by activating beta oxidation, we're increasing that ketone level in the bloodstream made from your own fat. And this is important, not made from exogenous ketones, but made from your own fat. And because we know that those ketones can be used by the brain more effectively often than glucose can. So there's a thing that tends to develop, whether it's a causal factor in dementias or a secondary factor because of the inflammation in the brain. And that's called type 3 diabetes. We've heard about, type 1 diabetes is caused typically by an inactivated pancreas by some reason that whether it's genetic, whether it's a virus that prevents that pancreas from producing insulin. So you need an injectable insulin source. Type 2 diabetes is typically caused by lifestyle or a general decline in insulin function, where you need to actually improve the body's capacity to respond to your own insulin. So type 2 is different. But then there's type 3, where it's been more recently coined, It occurs in the head, in the brain in particular, where insulin is not capable of signaling the neurons effectively enough so that they can absorb glucose. And glucose absorption throughout the cells and throughout the entire body is dictated by insulin signaling. If insulin signaling isn't working, glucose is not being absorbed effectively by the cells. So this is one of the reasons why this type 3 diabetes is closely correlated and related to dementias. And over time, as it advances, it creates the late stages of a dementia that result in apoptosis or death of tissue in the brain in late stages. So what do we have as an option here? Well, the cells can use ketones as a secondary substrate that does not depend on insulin. Therefore, when we supply a source of ketones through activating this system in your body, ketogenesis, then those ketones enter into the brain and your cells can use them to make energy, despite the fact that you might have a type 3 diabetic state that's leading you down the path to dementia. So it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to cure your dementia, but you're definitely going to feel, for example, if you're going to have dysfunctional levels of dementia that are clinical disease at age 50, it may push it now to age 85, 90, which we wouldn't call dementia. And we might say, hey, hold on a sec, you're senile. Instead of the, dementia at age 50, you have a bit of senility at age 85, 90. Those kind of things. So, we're trying to improve the body's capacity to be resilient to stress, illness, and other things by giving these countermeasures to your body and your metabolism so that you're in charge then of running down a path that's healthy for you.
Perfect. Well, Franco, I really appreciate you taking some time to kind of go over all these things with us. Now, a couple things that I think is really important is, first and foremost, again, we're not making any medical claims. We're not saying this is going to cure you or do anything like that. But the research behind it is really there to show you that, there is a solution to be able to use your own body's fat and things like that to be able to activate brown adipose tissue, to be able to activate, ketosis within your own body, which is really fantastic. I think when someone, I'm not, like Franco, I don't know all the correct terminology to be able to explain it, but sometimes the best way for me to understand a lot is like, hey, if someone says, would you rather grow your arm back or use this prosthetic arm? I would rather grow my arm back, right? If someone's like, hey, we can either help you by making your lungs stronger or put you on a ventilizing machine to help you breathe, I would rather try to make my lungs stronger. And that's kind of something that I think is really important to understand, is we're not taking something and replacing it so that your body stops producing it or it stops doing certain things. But what we're doing is we're just activating it within your own body, which I think is such an incredible thing to be even able to say or to talk about. So Franco, thank you so much for sharing, the information with us. Here at Northestar, I know Franco touched on it, but we do have our sweetened Glyvia that we just added to our pink colada NCT powders. You can get it in our Everyone powder. This is our herb powder. We also have our His powder, which is a sweetener that activates it's a GLP-1. Is that how you say it, Franco?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, I thought for sure I was going to butcher it there, but the GLP-1, so you can get that in these flavors specifically. And I want you guys to really make sure that you're staying caught up to date with our Facebook fan page. Make sure you click the notification button, because really soon in the near future, we're actually going to be launching another product that has thermobutyrate with Glyvia inside of it, that you're going to want to stay in the know-how on when that goes, when it's about to launch. So really, we have one more question. Okay, Franco, can you talk about muscular dystrophy and how it's affected? Can you touch on that?
Well, muscular dystrophy is a significant disorder, and I can't say that the products are going to combat and in fact serve as therapeutic agents or medicinal agents that treat muscular dystrophy. We do have indications from the laboratory work that the products that we're talking about here activate a system that's based on mTOR signaling. mTOR signaling and activation of mTOR pushes the body to make skeletal protein the skeletal muscle protein. And so we're seeing, people in the field of bodybuilding, athletes that are looking for explosive performance, getting the results that we'd expect they'd get with mTOR signaling activation. We're seeing that in the field. We're seeing that in the lab. Now, whether that's going to be treating diseases that are related with atrophy of muscular tissue, such as dystrophy, I don't know, but I can't see how it would be a negative application.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you so much for kind of clarifying that a little bit for us, Franco. So we're going to wrap up the Zoom here. And what I want you guys to do is we're actually going to give away 5 bags of our NCT Pink Colada flavors. I'm actually going to let you guys pick if you want the hers, the everyone, or the his powder, whoever wins. So what you're going to do in order to get a chance to win one of these bags of our powder, a 30-day supply, is we want you to like this video as many times as you can. We also want you to tag somebody in the comments below. We also want you to share this Facebook Live onto your page. Everyone, or as long as you guys are tagging someone, liking the video, and sharing it onto your page, you're going to be entered to win one of the 5 bags that are going to go out for free by the end of business day today. We'll private message you, or we'll send you a comment. We'll comment back to your share, or maybe even go to your Facebook page and comment on your shared video of the winners there. So if you get contacted by Northestar, that is how we'll do it. We'll never send you a link like that. Don't click on links that you're not 100% sure, but if we're having a conversation with you, asking us a private message, then that's the way that we're going to contact you. I just wanted to take a second and again, thank Franco so much for his time. Thank you for showing us around your guys's, the lab, and I think that we have a really great foundation here. And if you're interested in finding out more information or purchasing a bag with this great technology in it, make sure you contact the person who tagged you in this video. And thank you so much, Franco, again, and we'll talk to you soon.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Franco. See you later.
Bye.